Hello everyone. I, Dr. Rajkiran Prabhakar, Assistant Professor at Institute of Management Studies, Banaras Hindu University, welcome you on the course Rural Marketing Principles, Strategies and Practices. My dear learners, I welcome you to the lecture 5 of week 7. We have understood about the channel dynamics, we have understood about the marketing logistics, and now we are going to talk about the supply chain. Supply chain, which is very important to understand, especially in the rural market. My dear learners, since the manufacturers and the producers, they have to reach to their customers, they have to reach to their end users, and in between the user and the producers, how many intermediaries can be a part of it? That is a big question. In order to sort out this question, in order to find solution to this question, we are going to understand the need and importance of supply chain in the rural marketing. In the rural market, the supply chain is important because it refers to the coordination and management. My dear learners, when we come across the word called coordination and the management, what comes in your mind? Coordination is when two things come together. Two people join together, two producers come hand in hand. It means the supply chain is not a one-man show. It requires different peoples, different intermediaries to operate between the producer and the end users. This number could be varied. This number could be 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever you can think about. But mind it, when the intermediary's role is limited, when the limitation is there in terms of limiting your intermediaries, cutting the intermediaries and making the producer, the manufacturer coming close to the end users, it means you have a winning strategy with you. So, in order to manage these activities from the supplier to the consumers, now I will just give you an idea that in the supply chain, the first chain is the supplier, which is termed as a back end. Back end means it is from the manufacturing, before manufacturing. Manufacturing is there. Before manufacturing, you have a supplier. After manufacturing, you have intermediaries. It could be retailer. It could be, after that, customer. In order to manage this manufacturer, retailer and the supplier, we need to understand the supply chain. Okay. So, management of flows of goods, services and information from the supplier to the rural consumers in rural low density region. Very important. Low density region means the population, the people there are very less. It is a challenge. The people are less, how you are going to reach them? Secondly, the goal is to efficiently meet the demand despite geographical remoteness. As I mentioned in many of my lectures, that the rural areas are at very remote location. How you are going to penetrate to that place? Limited infrastructure is there. No availability of warehouse, no availability of storage, no availability of good roads. There is no availability of electricity. In such conditions, how you are going to meet out? And the most important is the seasonal variation. The climate is changing, the season is changing. Sometimes it is very hot, sometimes it is very cold. And it is not happening as and when all the time. It is happening because of the global warming that we see here. In respect to that, how you have to maintain their supply chain is very important task. So, what we see, the key characteristics of rural supply chain is the infrastructure constraint. That is, we have talked about poor roads networks, we have talked about the unreliable electricity, and we have talked about limited transportation option. It could be, we might have seen bullock carts some vans would be there. Some I talked about this Chota Hathi. So this small transportation means are there. How we are going to provide the supply and delivery in the rural market? That is a big question. Second is the seasonal demand. As we can see that the products may be demand only in specific season like harvest time or for agricultural products. It means the seasons demand are going to vary. In this variation, how we are going to meet out the demand. Next is the cash-based economy. What we are saying, many rural areas rely on cash transaction. There is no availability of mobile cash or Paytms, or the different ATMs are available. We can say ATMs are available. We can say mobile phones, internet is available, but it is very much limited. It is not in that abundance. It is not there, we can say, on time. So these are certain issues that we have to address. So cash-based economy is important because the rural consumers are dealing in the cash only. So what are the challenges of the supply chain management in rural areas? The first is inadequate. We have just talked about. Why? Because moving goods quickly and cost effectively is difficult. Second is long distance between the supplier and the consumer. Supplier is in one end, consumer is on other hand. How to make them come together? How the distance could be reduced? For that, you are going to see rural areas often have fewer distribution centers. Distribution centers are there, but they are very few, leading to high transportation cost because, as I said, the options is limited. Whatever is available, you have to pay higher cost. There is a delayed in deliveries because we are not having the good connectivity, so that will be a problem. Then we have a fragmented supply chain. The supply chain is there, but it is in different pockets. It is fragmented in different places. So multiple intermediaries has to play. As I mentioned, in this supply chain, how many intermediaries we are going to have? So it could be a wholesaler, it will be small vendors. Small vendors are those people who have a very limited space, where they have very limited hands. They might not be able to deliver the products on time. But when we say that they are a wholesaler, they have this kind of space would be there, people would be there, transportation means would be there, so they can easily transfer. But the question here is, if it is available also, it is not available at one place, it is scattered. So this increases the complexity and the inefficiency. Next is the unpredictable demand. You never know that what kind of demand will come, when it will come. As we have just mentioned, the seasonal demand is there. In this season, demand would be high. If it is off season, demand is going to low. So the risk has to be taken by the marketers. There is no demand, still you have to keep the products. That is very, very questionable. So we see that the fluctuating demand is there, especially for the agricultural products, which is going to be looking at the inventory management be difficult. It is very much problematic to manage the demand of unpredictable nature. What are the strategies for managing the supply chain in rural areas? First one is the hub and spoke distribution model. This is basically used in the rural areas. What it does, it is going to have the centralized hub, a warehouse or a depot. At one place, they are going to store. This will work as a center. From the center, whatever remote location requires the product, the demand is there, they are going to supply to that place. So it distributes the goods to the local spokes. Local spokes are the local people, local consumers, local retailers, local entrepreneurs. So these are the people who will be having in less quantity. So what are we going to do? We are going to carry from the centralized hub to those local kirana shops or the shopkeepers, because they are going to demand in the morning, and in the evening they are going to have those products, and then they are going to sell in the another morning. So this works as a hub and spoke model. A very good example is the ITC e-Chaupal. What they do? They have used this digital network to bring agricultural products directly. It means that there is a place wherein the online availability of the products is there. And the consumer, who is the consumer here? The farmers, basically the farmers or the rural people, local people will be the consumers. They want to buy the product. So there is availability of the products on the digital network, and they are going to bypass the middleman. It means that they need not go to buy the products and services through any middle person. Middleman is not involved, because they can directly connect to the ITC eChoupal platform digitally, and they can book their order and they can get their products. It is also that if they are not well versed with mobile and the internet, they can physically go to their eChoupal Sagar and they can have the products. Second is the local transportation partnership. We see here that collaborate with local transport providers, like for example motorbikes, carts and trucks. These are the eminent, you can say these are the basic means of transportation in the rural villages. Why? Because if you talk about these carts, bulls are available, they prepare a cart and they carry the products. It would be trucks, mini trucks would be there, big trucks would be there, motorbikes, as I mentioned that Bajaj City 100, they have this product which has a space wherein the luggage could be kept. The big luggage can be kept on the side seats of the motorbikes, and they can carry. A very good example, if you see nowadays, is the TVS Luna. They are being acting as one of the means of transportation, where the local suppliers, they are putting all their belongings aside in the front, and they have different bag and baggages into that, and slowly they are moving the small quantity of products from one place to the others. So this is one means of transportation. To reduce the delivery cost, example we can take is Amazon's I Have Space program. I Have a Space program is launched by Amazon. What they do? They are using the local kirana shops, grocery shops, and they are going to use as pick up and delivery points in rural areas. So they are going to tie up with local kirana shop, they are going to place their products, and the campaign is I Have a Space. Means the local kirana will say that, okay, I have a space, you can put the products here, and from there the products would be picked, the company person will pick the products from there, and it is going to deliver to the local locations. So they provide this I Have a Space program. Third is decentralization, warehousing and the distribution. We are seeing that established local warehouses are there, or the collection points are there. In order to avoid long transport times and improve availability, my dear learners, when we are looking at different couriers, you might be knowing that a small local kirana shop is selling milk, biscuit and oil, and it is also having a courier services also. What they are doing? Yet they are partnering. They are becoming as a collection points. In the Hindustan Unilever Limited, as we have mentioned, that they had worked on this Shakti Amma program to build the rural women, and they are empowering the rural women to distribute the consumer goods locally, reducing supply chain cost and improving the productivity access. It means, one, it is reaching out locally. Second, it is reducing the supply chain. The products are available with this Shakti Ammas, and they are going to distribute to the different local customers. It is improving the product access, means the product is easily accessible because it is available there and then and there. Fourth is use of technology for efficiency. We are seeing that mobile based tools are used for inventory tracking, order processing and the customer communication. Very good example, you can see the Indian Post Office, Indian Postal. If you go for a speed post, you can easily track your number and see that where the parcel has gone. It means that inventory tracking is very, very important by the usage of mobile phones. The order processing is very, very simple and easy, and customer can use it. And lastly, it is very means of communication. Example, we can take BASF's agri-logistic platform. It uses a mobile apps to allow rural farmers to track fertilizers and pesticide delivery in real time. It means that whenever you are buying or ordering the fertilizers through their platform, you can easily know that where that fertilizer has reached, in how much time it is going to reach to you, what quantity it is there. You can track your products and services by logging into these mobile apps, and this has been successfully used by the logistics platform by the BASIFs. Fifth is the micro entrepreneur networks. What they are doing? They are empowering the local entrepreneurs to run the last mile delivery services. In this, we can say that it is not only going to empower local entrepreneurs, it is also providing the jobs. So, creating job is important. Also, ensuring efficient product distribution. We know that rural consumers are trusting the local people only. So, if the local people are involved in that delivery, they are doing this job, it is empowering them as well as it is making the things very quick and accessible. Example we can take here is Dabur's rural network. What they are doing? They are using local entrepreneurs to distribute health and wellness product. Health and wellness product means you are using different kinds of health related products. It could be the soaps, it could be Dettol, it could be detergent, it could be medicines, it could be any such health related goods and services. It ensures better penetration into rural market, because we are seeing that it is being ordered, it is being used, it is being in requirement, it is being in demand of the rural customers. You have to supply that. So, this is very much done by the Daburs. You might be knowing Dabur has different Ayurvedic products are there. Dabur oil is there, a very hit product in the rural villages. People use Dabur oil, Dabur almonds oil, Dabur Chyawanprash. So, all these products are there which brings the local entrepreneurs and it creates a job. Sixth is leveraging the community based network. The community is involved in the kind of distribution. So, work with local community groups and cooperatives to improve product distribution and build trust. What are these local communities? It could be different SHGs, self-help groups, it could be different NGOs, it could be different say panchayat people, it could be Gram Pradhan building certain people at the place. It could be any such agencies which are deploying people to do some kind of activity. As I mentioned the example of Amul cooperative, if you go a company like Amway, these are all working on this kind of network system. Amul uses a cooperative model with rural dairy farmers. So, it actually uses dairy farmers to supply milk to urban areas. So, what is happening? The milk is being collected in the villages, supplied to the urban areas, providing cold storage. So, the farmers cannot afford it. Amul is providing the cold storage facility to them. It is also providing them the transportation infrastructure for efficient product movement. So, different cold storage are there. Now, we will discuss upon certain real world examples of supply chain management in rural areas. ITC eChoupal, what we see here, it has been created a network of digital kiosks in rural India and it is known as eChoupals. This kiosk provides farmers access to weather forecast. My dear learners, you can see how important role it is played by eChoupals by their network of digital kiosks. What they are doing? They are providing the farmer access to weather forecast. They can understand and know what is the weather forecast, how will the weather behave, what they have to do, what measures they have to take. It is going to predict the market price. It is going to have agricultural advices, and not only that, it is going to reduce the reliance on the intermediaries. Such kind of facilities are going to benefit the farmers because they do not rely on the intermediaries, middlemen. It ensures better pricing for the farmers. they get the right kind of price from this e-Chowpals. It improves logistic efficiency. You have to just carry the produce to the Chowpal Sagar and you have to worry that how it will be done. So logistics and the transportation and the warehousing cost is saved. They are going to provide direct link to the supply chain. It means that if you want to sell your product from your farm to the any customer, you can easily sell that. You have to just mention about your product, mention your identity, and the consumers, the customers would be on the other side. Here customers are the sellers because farmer is the seller and the customer is the different sales agencies. So they are going to have. For example, a farmer in rural India can directly sell its crop to the ITC network without going through the multiple middlemen. No middleman is required. Digitally you are going to make a login, you are going to use the ITC network, you are going to sell it. So it improves his income and the supply chain efficiency is there. As I mentioned in the opening remarks, that if the supply chain is having the producer and the end consumer, no intermediaries, it is the best supply chain. Second real example is from Hindustan Unilever Shakti Amma program. We have discussed a lot about this. Only thing we will say that it is going to empower the women entrepreneurs in rural India because they manage the delivery of sales of soap, detergent and shampoos. As we were mentioning, the health and hygiene. So if Shakti Ammas are selling this product to customers, they are going to buy that because they are going to trust this local rural women's and Shakti Ammas and they are going to buy this soap, detergent and shampoos. What is the impact? This model helps the HUL to expand reach into the remote villages. Wherever the company was not able to reach, this Shakti Ammas were able to reach to that place. So, and it also created a job for women. Now this is very important. Empowering the woman is very important. If the woman is empowered, society will be empowered. And the last thing is boosting the local economies. If the capacity of buying is increasing, if the expenditure is increasing, people have the capacity to buy, it means the local economies is going to grow. For example, a woman in rural villages became HUL distributor. So HUL distributor is there. This is done by the rural Shakti Amma and selling products directly. So these Ammas were actually warehousing the products at their homes and then they were sending to the other villages. So number of villages were connected through this distribution channel and this eliminates the need of larger distribution centers and reduce the logistic cost. It means you need not have the larger distribution center and you do not need to have the larger logistics cost. Next example is of Amazon. I have a space program I have just mentioned. For whom it is? Amazon is partnering with local shop owners which are there at that place. They are serving as a delivery hub. From there, the consumers are going to get the services and this also becomes a collection points for different local retailers, local shopkeepers. They can collect from this. So the shop owners help delivery products to customer in rural location. This program reduces last mile delivery cost. So important is the cost and help the Amazon to penetrate rural market more efficiently. So dear learners, you see what kind of strategy Amazon has adopted to reach to your rural villages. For example, rural store owner receives a package from Amazon for delivery to a customers. Okay, how it is going to reach? In the nearby villages and it is earning a commission for each successful delivery. So a local shop owner will collect the packet, it will deliver to the villages, it will earn some commission and that will help him to earn his livelihood and this is a very successful model that is adopted. Last would be Amul's dairy supply chain. Amul has established an extensive supply chain of milk collection in rural areas where the farmers supply the milk to local centers and then this milk is chilled, processed and distributed to the urban market, and this has been helped by the cooperative model as I mentioned earlier also, and this creates an efficient supply chain for dairy products effect. And this is not only for the urban customers, it is for the rural customers too. So Amul collects milk daily from thousands of rural farmers, who process it and distribute to the cities, and this ensures the improving the livelihoods of the rural farmers, and it also makes the efficient perishable movement of the perishable goods. What are the benefits? Benefit, we can go quickly. It improves the access to goods. It will increase the better income of rural producers. It will go for job creation. It will reduce the cost, and it will increase the market penetration. Basically, we are talking about the brand business and the different supply chain models. So, the supply chain management in rural, it requires innovative strategies, 1, local partnership, 2, and the technology to overcome the challenges posed by the geographical isolation, infrastructure constraint and fluctuating demand. So, in order to mention or overcome, we have these strategies that the companies can not only reduce the cost, but also improve the reach and profitability in the rural market, ultimately benefiting both the businesses and rural communities, which is very, very important. Now think about this section. We are going to see that if suppose you are a healthcare company and want to distribute essential medicines to remote rural areas without proper roads and limited storage facilities. As a part of their supply chain team, planning team, what innovative solution would you propose to ensure timely delivery and safe storage of this medicine? Think about this. The lecture will help you to give answer to this question, and I hope you are able to answer. With this, I come to the end of lecture 5, week 7. Thank you very much.